Hello, and welcome to the Stupid Sequels podcast, where we find truly terrible movies and give them all the attention they don't deserve. Each episode will discuss exactly what made such a horrible sequel, from casting to budget to just plain bad writing. While we all love a great movie, there's something just a little more fun about watching a seriously stupid sequel. Now, while there are plenty of awful sequels out there, we have a few guidelines about the kind of movies we'll be reviewing here. We're talking about direct-to-video, made-for-TV, never appeared in a theater sequels, the ones the studios gave up on before they even started. This week, my guest is Alex Nehls, and we will be discussing Casper Meets Wendy, the sequel to Casper. Hi.
Hey.
You haven't been back in so long.
I know.
Since Cruel Intentions, when my mic's
to be back.
fucked up so bad.
Thank you for fixing that, Francis.
Thank you. We have a new setup now, so that doesn't happen anymore.
It looks way better than before. Congratulations.
So fancy.
Oh, yeah.
So fancy.
They can see us.
So they have seen Instagram photos of our setup. We went legit. All right, to all of you guys who are new here, most of you are probably joining from the first podcast. Thank you guys so much for having me on as a guest. If you didn't hear it, go check it out. I reviewed a movie that all of you guys have been begging me to do, Troll 2. So go check it out, the first podcast, and I am on their episode covering Troll 2. It is a disaster, and it is not a sequel. So it did not work here, and it didn't really work in real life. But you can go listen to me review it over there. And to all of you joining me from the first podcast, hello. I was tolerable for that hour, so get ready for many more hours. Let's go. So Casper Meets Wendy.
What can I say?
It's a lot.
I loved it as a kid.
Oh, fully loved it.
And then rewatching it, I was like, wow.
Yeah, I unironically loved this movie as a kid because it was Hilary Duff, and I loved her, and Lizzie McGuire.
And Casper was,
Casper was the one.
Yeah.
Okay, so just a little bit of detail to start us off. So the original came out in 1995, the sequel in 1998. It's only 3 years in between. The original only got a 44% on Rotten Tomatoes.
I mean, there's some slow-ass parts to that movie. If
there
you
are.
Go back and watch it, I'm like, how did any child sit through this?
But then the sequel got 20%, which I feel like is too high.
Yeah, that's generous.
So the original had a budget of $55 million.
Whoa.
And it made $287 million at box office. And the sequel came out in 1998 with a budget of $6.4, which I'm guessing went to all the cameo actors. Because it didn't go towards writing or effects or talent.
Yeah. I mean, Alan Thicke, thank you for that wonderful
10-second cameo. What the fuck? So Casper is a character created in the 1930s for a kid's book. It was adapted into an animated cartoon in 1945, a comic series in 1952, and then a series of cartoons starting in 1959 with the new Casper cartoon show in 1963, and then there were a bunch of Christmas specials and Casper's First Christmas and Casper Saves Halloween in the 1970s, and then they did a bunch of crossovers with live action shows like Chips and Charlie's Angels.
No, they did not.
Yeah, they did. It was like Casper did everything.
Like, were those Halloween specials that nobody was supposed to remember? Like, seriously, Casper just showed up.
They were like, it was like Charlie's Angels is a live action movie, but they do like an animated episode where like the angels came to see Charlie. Like when you did that on Scooby-Doo where like the Harlem Globetrotters would show up.
Yeah.
It was like those.
Okay. But it wasn't like real life TV show with Casper in it, right?
No.
Okay.
Yeah. So the 1995 film was the first live action movie to feature a CGI lead.
Whoa.
It's pretty cool. Like, yeah, like...
And he wasn't that bad in the
No,
original.
I mean, he's pretty simple. He's just a white... Bleh.
You're right. Bleh.
He's a little white bleh. He's a little marshmallow. I mean, like, he doesn't have a ton of features to him or anything.
No.
And the movie was obviously super successful. And then there was a cartoon series in 1996. And then that led to the movie, which killed the series. Because it was bad. It was real bad. So 10 different actors have provided the voice for Casper through all of the movies and TV shows and cartoons and special appearances. Some only 1 or 2 things, some half a dozen things, or for whole seasons. It's really all over the place. So usually we talk about actors who returned for both the original and the sequel. And the weird thing is we have 2, but they play different characters. So in the original, just to run over the plot of the original real quick, basically this horrible woman named Kerrigan, there we go, Kerrigan Carrington, inherits her father's mansion, and she finds a thing that makes her think that there's treasure in the house. And that's played by Kathy Moriarty, and her like lackey / lawyer is Eric Idle. And they go into the house to look for the treasure, but there are ghosts in the house. So they hire Bill Pullman and his daughter, Christina Ricci, to get rid of the ghost, but then she's friends with the ghost. Blah, 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 blah.
Wait, that's what they're hired for?
Yeah.
Damn, I need to...
Because the dad is a ghost therapist.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do they just want Bill Pullman to be the most boring human being in anything he does?
I think so. So,
poor bastard.
Kathy Moriarty plays Kerrigan, and she plays Aunt Gert in Casper Meets Wendy.
Which one is Aunt Gert?
The blonde one.
The one with the really raspy voice, yeah.
And the other, which is, oh, we'll get into it. And then the other crossover is, so at the very beginning of the movie, there's a lawyer reading Kerrigan the will, played by Ben Stein. And then when they're at the resort, Ben Stein is there.
Wait, when is Ben Stein at the resort?
Wait, at the party part where they're all just fuckeries going on. The guy being possessed by Fatso is like, oh man, the food here's great. And Ben Stein's like, and he'd be like, it'd be a shame if they ran out. And he's like, that would be terrible. And he's like, you're a laugh riot. And I'm like, just, Ben Stein's here. So those are the only 2 actors who are the same, like not even the same voice actors return for Casper or the uncles. None of it. Just Ben Stein playing another boring person and Kathy Moriarty as an entirely different character.
And I totally remember the voice as you said that, because it's like she wakes up and has 80 cigarettes and then starts her.
Just. Ben Stein is actually in all 3 Casper movies.
I know, because he's so boring. Like, I mean, I know I was saying Bill Pullman. Sorry, guys, but...
Ben Stein.
But Ben Stein, too, is... I think of those dry eye commercials.
Dry eyes. Bueller. Like, it would crack me up if there was, like, some behind-the-scenes things, and they were, like, cut, and he's like, what the fuck's up, guys? And just, like, it was all an act, but I think that's just him.
No, that's just him.
So, in the original, we have Malachi Pearson as Casper, Bill Pullman as James Harvey, Christina Ricci as Cat Harvey, Jonah Pote as Stretch, Joe Alasky as Stinky, Brad Garrett as Fatso, Eric Idle as...
Skirt. Brad Garrett.
Yup. I know.
You son of a bitch.
I know.
That's awesome.
Eric Idle as Dibs, Garrett Radcliffe Henson, who you might recognize as the Hottie McHotterson from Mighty Ducks, is the hot guy at Cat School. Jessica Wesson, who was in Home Improvement and Flipper, is Amber, the bitchy mean girl. And tons of cameos. So that's something they stole from the original. It's just the tons of cameos. They have Ben Stein as the lawyer, Don Novello from SNL, Dan Aykroyd playing a Ghostbuster, Clint Eastwood, Rodney Dangerfield, Mel Gibson, the Crypt Keeper.
Wait, when is Mel Gibson in Casper?
The part where the Bill Pullman gets possessed, and he's like, his face keeps changing into a bunch of different people.
So it's actually him?
It's actually him.
Wow.
I didn't even think it was as a kid, like that it was really him. And then Steven Spielberg had a cameo as himself, but it got cut because he's like, I was such a horrible actor, I didn't want to do it. And he was the producer for the movie.
Oh, okay.
And Zelda Rubinstein from Poltergeist had a cameo as herself that was also cut. And in the sequel, we have fucking everybody. Nobody good.
Fucking everybody, but nobody.
We have Hilary Duff as Wendy, Jeremy Foley as Casper, Shelley Duvall as one of the ants. Just fucking, The Shining and Casper Meets Wendy.
Shelley Duvall.
She's the wife from The Shining.
Olive oil?
Yeah.
Wait, time out.
Yeah.
I need to IMDb that.
You don't believe
because
me?
she's like a skinny, like the time frame doesn't make sense to me because I would think she would be older, but maybe she just got bigger and I didn't recognize her. Okay.
Yep. I know. It's insane. So that's her. We're Wikipediaing Shelley Duvall.
But who was she in Casper and Wendy?
She was one of the ants.
But I just watched it. I'm like,
we shut off the movie and started recording, guys.
That's dedication right there. No, still, I'm. She's pulling. Whoa.
So that's Kathy Moriarty.
Oh.
That's Shelley Duvall.
Whoa.
That's Terry Garr.
Damn. She aged, guys. You know when, like, I'm not even gonna say that, but.
She being mean, y'all.
She good actress, though.
George Hamilton as Desmond Spellman, or more accurately, George Hamilton as George Hamilton with magic powers. Vincent Trevely as Vincent, Pauly Shore as the Oracle.
Why was he there?
Richard Moore as Jules, Blake Foster as Josh Jackson, as my roommate pointed out, one of the Power Rangers, the blue Power Ranger from Power Rangers Turbo. Logan Robbins as Logan, Michael McDonald as Spike, Travis McKenna as Fatso, Patrick Richwood as Stinky, so many people. Alan Thicke in a 10-second cameo for no fucking reason. Casper Van Dyne as a hot guy. Literally the list of cameos is longer than the list of the cast. It's fucking insane.
But if you don't know who they are they really cameos?
No, and for kids, like, I'm sorry, at age, 4 when this movie came out, I don't know who the fuck Pauly Shore was.
I was trying to think of one of his catchphrases.
I don't know who George Hamilton was.
Trippin'.
Yeah, but, like, it's supposed to be like, oh, for the parents, but, like, good God, if you made your parents watch this, you're a bad kid.
George Harrison is it?
Hamilton is it? George Harrison was in it. Oh my God, he's dead! No, he's alive. He was alive. He's one of the living Beatles. So the original was directed by Brad Silberling. So this was his very first movie ever, the original.
Wait. The original was that guy's first movie ever?
Very first movie ever. He also did A Series of Unfortunate Events, the one with Jim Carrey, and Land of the Lost, and City of Wings.
So you just like to murder movies. No, I'm just kidding.
You know, the good one was original. It was produced by Spielberg. It was written by Sherry Stoner, who's the voice of Slappy the Squirrel in Looney Tunes.
Who is Slappy the Squirrel?
The girly squirrel who wears the flower on her hat.
Her name is Slappy the Squirrel?
She's also the animation reference for Belle and Ariel.
Wait, I know we're going in a really strange direction,
Terry
guys.
Stoner has had a life. I want to be her. She wrote the movie, then she wrote for the TV show, then she was the reference animation for fucking Ariel and Belle.
Again, I need to see what this warlock looks like.
We're having to do so much Googling. That's Slappy the Squirrel.
No, I know who Slappy is now.
Yeah.
But
so
I wanted to
that's Sherry Stoner.
But I want to see her, like, as a human.
Okay.
You know, Slappy the Squirrel. Oh, wow. She does look like Ariel.
Yeah. So she's a compulsive hair flipper and lip biter, which is why so many Disney princesses do that. Because she's, like, a reference for two of the really big ones. Oh. And she wrote Casper. And the other writer is Deanna Oliver, who is the voice of the Brave Little Toaster.
Oh, I love that movie.
So the two writers are amazing voice actors, but, like, didn't write any other movies? It's weird.
Wait, Casper was it?
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, I think they wrote, like, like, one or two other things, but,
yeah,
like...
No.
And J.J. Abrams did a rewrite of the original script. Uncredited.
You go, JJ.
So, Spielberg J.J. Abrams worked on Casper. Okay.
Genius.
The sequel is directed by Sean McNamara, who was just a Disney director for fucking everything. Lizzie McGuire, Even Stevens, That's So Raven, Shake It Up, Ant Farm, like from like when we were kids to like current Disney. He directs, so that's how Hilary Duff got Lizzie McGuire.
Oh,
he's like, I worked with her when she was little. I know her. She's great. It was written by Jim Magin, who wrote for DuckTales, Chip and Dale, The Goofy Movie, and the Casper animated show.
It's a duck
work.
Sorry.
My home mystery. Rewrite history. DuckTales.
Woo!
There we go. We had to, guys. We had to. So the original opened up at number 1 on Memorial Day weekend, which is fucking huge for an animated movie.
Well, it wasn't really animated. It was.
I mean, for a kids movie.
For kids, yeah.
It grossed $16 million its first 3 days.
Get it?
Like, fuck. The house, Whipstaff Manor, was used for the Backstreet Boys music video. Everybody.
Yeah.
It's the second movie where Christina Ricci and Devon Siwa play love interests. They also played love interests in Now and Then. Oh, I love that movie so much.
Oh, that's the one before that, right? Yeah, when she's like the little girl.
I love Now and Then.
Now we have another movie to watch.
I know. A live action sequel was pitched with Christina Ricci and Bill Pullman, but they wouldn't be available. And then they're like, maybe we'll do animated. And then they both got too big and they were like, Hilary Duff. So even the scenes where Devon Siwa is being hot human Casper.
Was he the, I'm sorry to cut you off, was he the voice of
I was just about to say, no, it's still Malachi Pearson.
Oh, okay.
So that's not Devon Siwa's.
Baby daddy.
We were saying he was the first crush of many a 90s girl.
Oh, yeah. Oof.
He's so beautiful, guys.
Oof.
Just go watch the YouTube clip. And he pulls her in that white flowing shirt with that sweet, sweet 90s hair.
Can I keep you?
I can't. I told you I'm a good dancer. He's so cute. And Casper Meets Wendy is, I think, our second sequel that has won an award for electronic visual effects.
Well,
and this was Hilary Duff's first movie ever.
It shows.
She's a baby. She's a little. Give her some credit. She's a baby. She's a literal baby.
She is a literal baby.
She's so tiny. We were kind of talking about like Hilary Duff in the Disney
realm
machine. Like she was one of the first like Disney. Like she had an album and she got a movie and like
she was. I feel like she was the first. Like everybody knew about her. She was on everything.
And Disney was what started her, really.
Yeah, Disney's what started her.
Because Raven-Symoné had The Cosby Show to kind of jumpstart her.
But they were pushing Hilary's music career. It was like, I feel like Miley Cyrus was the next Hilary Duff, yet since it was so many years later, money meant something way different than what money meant back, you know?
Yeah, and I think Hilary Duff's singing career was very much like, oh, she's on a Disney show. Our kids will listen to her music. And Miley's was, my dad is Billy Ray fucking Cyrus.
And I'm gonna go on these tours, and I'm gonna
like,
make
the point of her show
movie. Yeah,
was to have her sing.
Yeah,
like, because Lizzie never sang on the TV show.
No, she didn't.
The friend did. Miranda.
Yeah,
Miranda sang more than Lizzie did.
Lane was all up on that stage, but
yeah, and then all of a sudden, the Lizzie McGuire movie was a musical. We were like, okay.
This is what dreams are made of.
Oh my god, I saw this picture and it's like perfect costumes for identical twins and they dressed as Lizzie and Isabella. I'm like,
that is amazing. How have I never seen this?
If we had more time, that's what we'd be for Halloween. By the way, guys, if I stuck to my editing schedule, which hopefully I did, you guys are getting this episode on Halloween. You're welcome.
We're gonna go to Vegas in like 3 days. That's never gonna happen.
Well, no, because Halloween's still next Wednesday.
Okay. Oh, true.
So it's more than a week away. I have time.
True.
I'm trying to get it up for Halloween. I'm trying, guys. If you hear this, I tried. So do we want to get into it?
Yeah, I was gonna say, should we make some drinks first? But yeah.
Yeah, we should. This episode is brought to you by Malibu because that's what I'm drinking.
This is a sober, so you guys are in for a treat.
We just watched the movie, so to discuss it for the next hour and a half after just dealing with it for the last hour and a half, we're gonna need some assistance. So hold for adjustments. We're back. So Alex and I recently went to an Arctic Monkeys concert in Arctic Monkeys suits. They were very cute. Check out our Instagrams. Alex's is
Alex N Wonderland.
It's very cute. She's a little Arctic monkey. It's very cute. And so we're going to just talk about Alex Turner throughout this review, and we're sorry, but we lived it. We can't go back.
I'll try not to, but he's just been in my dreams.
Oh, I like I'm up till like 1 just watching Arctic Monkeys videos on like Instagram and YouTube now.
Yeah, when I first discovered them, I had to like treat them as if it was like a terrible ex-boyfriend and get rid of all knowledge of them.
Did you watch that fucking video where it's just the progression of him singing the breakdown from 505?
Yeah.
And just like at the top it's just like ba-da-da-da-da, and by the end it's just like almost in tears. It's like, oh no. So we're having some Arctic Monkeys breakdowns.
Withdrawals, yeah.
This fucking movie.
Sorry.
So it starts with literally, I timed it, a 3-minute opening sequence.
And it is just the most jammiest 90s.
And it's everybody's names. Like, obviously, it's like, playing Casper is blah, playing Wendy is blah, the 3 aunts, the 3 uncles, the producer, the casting, the costumes, the set scout. What
guy
the
who
fuck?
walked by stage that one.
Like,
what?
It's like fucking in the 1940s when they used to front load all of the trailers at the beginning, or all of the credits at the beginning. It was so weird. And it's just like swirling purple, and then this random like stock footage ghost will fly by and be like, ah! And then I'll be like, swirling purple, random broom drops. It's not any of the ghosts from the movie. It's so weird, and it's 3 minutes long.
You think they were like under time because it was like a TV movie, and they were like, well, we have like 3 extra minutes. What can we do, guys?
Because the ending is real abrupt. It's like, blip, it's over. But yeah. So, literally, if I hadn't just watched I know why they did it. Because the first 5 minutes of the movie, you're like, am I at the right movie?
Yeah.
That's why they did it. Because it opens up with like a baseball game, and they're like, bottom of the ninth, bases loaded. Alan Thicke is the baseball commentator for no fucking reason. There's a tight zoom on the ball as it flies across the thing. He smacks it. It's out of the park.
It's a grand slam.
It's a home run. Everyone's so happy. They won the game. Yeah. And then a UFO shows up.
Because that's how it goes.
And a UFO, and the UFO is just there for a good 4 or 5 minutes, and everyone's just staring at it totally peacefully. They're like, wow, it's a UFO. Someone's like, I should get my camera out. Whoa, that's so cool.
That's so beautiful.
And then the UFO dissolves into these like 3 ethereal bubbles, and then the bubbles turn into like a very stereotypical like gray alien, and they're like, hello, and then it pops into one of the ghosts. It's like, come in, rest in pieces. And like aliens, UFOs, everyone's fucking chill. Fucking ghosts, they scatter and scream. I'm like, yeah, we're real fucking calm about a UFO and aliens, but now that it's ghosts,
aliens, that's fine.
Ghosts, I don't deal with this shit. And
what about the creepy little? I don't know if this was supposed to be a throwback to like Poltergeist when the little girl looks into literally just looks into the camera. They're back.
Yeah, when everyone's super calm about the aliens, she just turns dead to camera and just goes, they're back. I'm like, what is this?
Who is this?
So the baseball players are trying to swing at the ghosts with bats. I'm like, stop trying to attack ghosts with solid objects. It never works.
Spit air at them. We all know that
it doesn't work. And then there's this weird thing which carried over from the first movie where the uncles like to eat, but like the food just goes right through them.
Yeah. But I don't understand how there's like pieces of the food left, and like
yes, so like Fatso dumps the entire hot dog cart into his stomach, and then like flies above the crowd and just drops hot dogs on them.
That's exactly the sound effect they used.
Oh, they bought the big box of sound effects, and they needed to use all of them by the end of the day. Boing, boom, boom, every fucking sound effect.
Oh, that's where the $6 million went.
Oh, Jesus Christ. And they're all running and screaming and running. The 3 uncle ghosts, which are Stretch, Stinky, and Fatso, I'm going to just call them the uncles 99% of the time, are are being terrifying. They're like yelling boo, and they're turning into ghosts, and they're spraying people with ectoplasm. And then Casper shows up and he's like, hey guys, we're sorry. And everyone screams the loudest they've screamed the entire night and run away. And it's like, but I'm friendly.
And he's so cute. And the other ones are like ugly.
Scary looking.
Yeah.
And then they're like, well, scaring all those people was exhausting. Let's go on vacation to the Catskills.
That's legitimately what happens.
They're still at the baseball field.
That was rough.
That was rough. Let's go on vacation. What?
You know what else was rough? This fucking movie.
And we are drinking. I'm having a basic bitch cocktail. It is a cranberry, LaCroix, and Malibu. It's sprinkled with Taylor Swift and fairy lights and a pumpkin spice latte.
I was gonna say I'm drinking a pumpkin spice latte. I'm not. It's vodka and essentially water. There's like cranberry for color.
So then we cut to Desmond Spellman's house. Desmond Spellman is played by George Hamilton.
Everyone's favorite little Cheeto.
And he like has human appliances, but like uses magic to turn them on. I don't understand it. So like a telemarketer calls him, and he like zaps the telemarketer through his answering machine.
And then he's like, mirror, mirror on the wall. Not quite, but there is a talking mirror on the wall.
It's the Oracle.
And it's Pauly
Shore. Wearing like a mecca had a ho hat from fucking Pee-wee's Playhouse.
And if you didn't know, this movie is set like right in the 90s. Like they're just...
Oh, it's so 90s.
Yeah, they're just letting it.
It's, and so he's like, well, magic mirror or Oracle, get me the stocks, the weather, and the witch rankings. You know, the rankings of all the witches. And he's like, the sun is shining, the Tao is up, and you've been the number one witch for 1,000 years, but now someone else might beat you, is beating you, it's not clear. And he's like, who could ever beat me? And he's like, zap, fax machine prints out a photo of Wendy.
See, our connection was terrible, so like I couldn't really see clear faces, and I swear to God, I thought it was like a child's rendering of what Wendy would look like.
I mean, a fax machine is about that clear.
Yeah, I was like, oh, that's what that is?
And he's like, how the hell could a child be more powerful than me? And, okay, I'm going to read you the rhyme that the Oracle says. Basically, she'll be more powerful because she'll be friends with ghosts. And ghosts and witches never get along, so if they ever made friends, they'd be so very powerful. And he's like, well, how do I kill a witch like that? And they're like, the Mystic Abyss. Because anything you put in it, it'll kill it. So, there's no adios to compare with this. Behold, the dreaded mystic abyss. Human or witch or creature not mortal, all will be lost when they step through this portal. And everything the Oracle says is in rhymes like that. That's the only one I will subject you to. You're welcome. So Desmond makes a little quickie potion in like a food blender and like a bullet. Like every 90s food gadget. Like he puts it through a slap chop, and then he puts it in a magic bullet, and then he puts it in a food processor, and then he puts it in like a steamer, and then he goes outside and it gets hit by lightning, and these two goons pop out, Jules and Vincent. I only know the one is named Vincent because of Wikipedia, because they only ever named Jules, and only once. And he's like, here's a picture of Wendy, go get her. And they pull like giant cartoon guns out of their suits, a la like Men in Black, and they're like, we got it, boss. And then they put them back in their suits and they like disappear. So now we cut to like this decrepit old mansion. It's not the mansion from the first movie.
Oh, I was gonna say, is it like the mansion from the first? No. It looks like it, but like old, like.
It's not. And Casper would be living there, not the witches.
Oh, that's true. It was just supposed to be like a witch's lair.
So there's like the pinkest, girliest, most adorable room you've ever seen in your whole life. And an alarm clock is going out. And you see like a little hand with a wand pop out. She magics her alarm clock off. And little tiny baby Hilary Duff pops out with her little piggy tails. And she's like, mornings would be much better if they came in the afternoon.
But her voice is like, mornings would be much better. Like,
I
can't even do it.
I will drop a clip in here.
Please, talk to the hand, because the witches ain't listening. What? Wendy Pooh, wake up and smell the potion. I mean, we're witches, for goodness sake. We don't explain, we get even.
You mean like this?
smarty bloomers, eh?
They should love me all the more, huh?
She got a high-ass voice, y'all. It's so... And, like, literally, I'm like, is my version, like, warped weird? No, her voice is just that high. It's adorable, and then it gets irritating.
That's her laugh.
And so she's... we'll get to her laugh. And so she's running through her room because she's trying to find something, and she finds a little cute wrapped present, and she's getting ready to run out of her room. She's like, wait, my jammies! And she zaps herself and her little outfit.
And her little outfit, which is... jammies. Her little outfit
It's jammies.
It's a onesie. She wasn't even in a onesie before. Now she puts on footy pajamas with a red hood, like looking.
It's like a hat with a hood over it. And
is
like
it a hat with a hood over it?
But like the hood is pointy.
Yeah.
But like it covers her feet. It's like bright red.
And that's her hot look right there.
That's the little red Wendy outfit, which they were trying to interpret from the cartoons, which like you can't do a 1-to-1. It doesn't work. And she's like, the paperboy is here, ah! And she goes,
man.
And she goes running down, and the ants are brewing some kind of potion, and it's like, they're very much just trying to be the Sanderson sisters.
Oh, yeah.
There's a brunette, a blonde, a redhead. The blonde one goes, what did I do to deserve sisters like this?
And
she's
then
like,
the one's like, the original Spice Girls.
yeah, because they're spicing up their potion. And she's like, you invented... morning breath and foot fungus and mildew. You're the worst of the worst. Blah, blah, blah. They're trying to be the Sanderson sisters, and it's not working.
I still can't believe.
And their names are unimportant. Their names are Gert, Gabby, and Fanny, and I will never refer to them as anything besides their hair colors. So I'm sorry. More generally, just the ants.
Yeah.
Gert is the one played by Catherine Moriarty. She's the blonde. She's the leader. She's the big kahuna. And Wendy runs into their front yard because there's a paper boy there, and she's like, I got you this present. Is it his birthday? We don't know. And the ants load up this giant slime energy ball and a slingshot, and they fire it at the paper boy, and that makes all of his papers attack him.
It was a potion that was a slime ball. And
Wendy's like, stop it, you guys, leave him alone. And then she waves her little wand, and the papers all go attack the ants. And then the paper boy's like, you're a weirdo, and rides away. And
you're all weirdos.
And she's like, I just want a friend. She's going to say this a couple hundred more times. She just wants a friend. Just a friend.
Isn't that what we all just want?
Yeah. And there's just not even puns, but just the laziest, like, wake up and smell the potion, Wendy. Like,
yeah.
We're witches. You can never have friends. So then Vincent and Jules show up, and they're like, who the hell are you? And they're like, we're here for Wendy. It's like, you can screw off then. They're like, we're here from Desmond. And they're like, Desmond! And they all freak the fuck out. They're firing the guns. Wendy turns their guns into water guns. They're wrestling for her wand. She does a completely unnecessary back handspring, which is clearly a stunt double.
Doesn't she do it again at some point too?
Yeah, she just does 2 back handsprings for no effing reason. She locks them in a cage. All the witches get on a broom and they fly away, and she's like, who's Desmond? What's happening? And they're like, Desmond's in big trouble, and if he's looking for you, we gotta get out of here.
We need to go on a quick vacation.
Blah, 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 blah. Cut to the 3 uncles arrive at Sunnybright Resort. Casper is carrying all of their luggage. I don't understand why ghosts need luggage, because they don't wear clothes or eat food or need toiletries. I don't understand.
And they have quite a bit of luggage too.
Yeah, like Casper's loaded up like a little burrow.
Maybe it's their mementos from the people they've killed, tortured.
Trophies. And so there's like a happy little honeymoon couple in their cabin, and they're like,
they're about to fuck.
This is the best vacation ever. Nothing but best for the Wendelsons. Ha ha ha. And then the ghosts fly in, and they're like, no, this is our cabin. And consistently, once the ghosts show up, whoever they're scaring turns into Buster goddamn Keaton. Because people just fucking dive head first out of second-story windows, land, and keep running. Like, they look at someone, and that person is just fucking like, I'm a stuntman! Wah! Like, normal people, old people, children just fucking bound away.
Go, go, go.
And Casper's like, guys, why can't you be more friendly? Casper, it's been a couple centuries. I don't think you saying, why can't you be more friendly, is what's going to change them. And they're like, we hate fleshies, and the only good fleshie is a scared fleshie. And
Fleshy is, like, the grossest term that could have...
It makes me think of a fleshlight.
And then it makes me think of, like, when I was called a breeder in West Hollywood by the lovely occupants. And I was like, wow, fleshy just sounds like breeder. Just...
Yeah. And they're like, the only thing worse than a fleshy is a witch, which is a fleshy with magic. And he's like, what's so bad about witches? And he's like, they're magic. And he's like, okay, I'll go get the luggage. And
they're
like,
magic fleshies, and they're bad.
He steps through the door and just sticks his head back through the door and yells, witches! And they all go, wah! And he's like, ha ha ha, I said the word witches. Anyway, witches and ghosts don't get along, guys. In case you were wondering. So then we meet the social director, Larry Tolby.
No way, they say this fool's name?
Who you think is going to be very important because they focus on him for a while. He gets a first and last name. His name is Larry Tolby. And he's got sunglasses and a sun hat. And he's like, are you ready for the activity? We're going to have the Macarena. And then it's water polo. And then, you know, like the activities director on a cruise ship. Except they're at a resort. And so the ants are walking through in all their witchy outfits. And this old lady is like, aren't you guys too old to trick-or-treat? And they go to zap her. But then Wendy's like, guys, we're in hiding. And also, like, don't magic people in public, stupid, even if you're not in hiding. And they go to the front desk, and they're like, we want a cabin. And they're like, that lady just took the last one. And the lady is, like, shaking the key, like, ha, ha, ha. She sticks it in her mouth, and they're like, bleh, and they turn her into a goat. And then the goat walks up to the front desk and goes, I've changed my mind.
And the guy doesn't even flinch, like,
and the bellboy's just like, ew, this key was in a goat's mouth. That's gross. That's all I have to say on the situation. She's like wearing the old lady glasses. She's got the scarf, the hat. She talks.
Goat.
And he's just like, ew, the key's covered in spit. And they're like, we'll take that cabin.
Wrap it up.
What the fuck? And so they're loading into their room. Oh, they change into more suitable clothing. The ants are in like resort wear. It's hideous.
I don't understand because, no, it seems like they change into costumes.
Yeah. They basically change into, like, caftans with tiny witch hats. As opposed to their, like, corset dress, like, cartoon.
I'm like, how is going anywhere incognito in your witch hat with your witch broom in your witch frock?
And they're, like, walking through the lobby with their brooms fully
It's
out.
not Halloween. It's not Halloween
summer.
time.
It's fully summer. And so Wendy changes into like these cute little red and white overalls, which are very cute.
The iconic red and white overalls with the red hat and the red shoes.
As my roommate called it, a Jamiroquai hat.
And I was like, oh, what?
And Hottie McHotterson from next door is like, I'm Josh. You've probably heard of me. He's maybe 11. And
We've heard of you, Josh.
He is a Power Ranger. And he's hitting on Wendy, and the ants like make him fall down, and he's like, I don't like you, I was embarrassed in front of you. And she's like, ants, why can't I just have a friend? And they're like, because no. I don't understand, is Wendy's mother discussed at all? Because these are just the ants.
Her family's not discussed at all, and they do not love her, and they make that clear. We are stuck with you.
We're stuck with you, and you're a little brat, and we hate you, and meh. So then we cut back to Desmond. Okay, this is going to happen about a half dozen more times, where Desmond will literally pop up for a 30-second scene, or a 10-second scene, where he doesn't say anything. He just looks at a map and looks angry.
I said his character was totally unnecessary. It could have just been ghosts versus witches.
Yeah, but they needed to have a common enemy at the end, so they could, like, bond together. But no, he was completely unneeded. And so Jules and Vincent are like, oh, the witch gave us the slip and they ran away. And he's like, well, we'll use this. And he unveils like this giant wall of tracking computers.
Which, you know, you have in 1998.
If you're a witch, I guess. And so then we cut back to the hotel of the lobby. The lobby of the hotel.
I've been drinking
But like a sip, so that doesn't even count.
Yeah. And there's like a chef setting out all the food, and like the ghosts pop through the table, and they're like, the food tastes great. And he like dives 2 feet up the stairs into a balcony and like back handsprings away in fear. So the ants are using magic to unpack. They're using magic to make the bed, just like every little thing. And Wendy just has a laptop, and she's like, I'm gonna Google stuff about Desmond. Is there a witch web? Is there an internet we don't know about? What the fuck? And Gert's like, here's my website, meh! And she makes a giant spider web. And then they're like, let's decorate the cabin to be more our style. And they basically just turn the inside to like the inside of their manor. Like it's all dark wood and shit. Like, I don't know. And the magic tracker goes off at Desmond, and he's like, aha, we're narrowing down the coordinates. Okay, they're in this country, and they're in this state, and it's narrowing down further and further. And then Gert's like, wait, Desmond can track our magic. I don't know how she knows this.
I don't know, how did she just... They didn't get alerted. There was nothing. It was like, oh, shit. Like, how... Like, she was watching the movie, I'm pretty sure.
Guys, I just read the script, page 12. It says he can track us.
Oh, nuts. You gotta stop.
But then I think one of the other ants is like, but I can't tie my shoes without magic. I can't brush my teeth without magic.
I can't read without magic.
And they're like, don't worry, we can still do little spells, just not the big ones. And the difference between big and little spells seems to be wand or no wand. That's the line.
Yeah, because, I'm not going to get into it, but yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because they do pretty much any magic they want, but if Wendy touches her wand, it's like, wait, we got you. Like,
Yeah, that's true.
So...
I feel like we could write a 30-page thesis on this movie, and it just wouldn't do it justice.
No. So they're like, we're gonna go to the pool. Wendy, you stay inside. And she's like, I'm in the witches protecting program.
Hardy, har.
Oh, like witness protect.
I get it.
And she like looks sadly through the windows of like all the kids playing, and it's like, I wanna be where the people are. Like,
why doesn't anybody like me? Where are my friends?
She's so sad, so very, very sad. She just wants someone to play with.
Who doesn't?
Me, leave me alone. So the ghosts are tanning. Fatso gets a sunburn because Ecto has.
It's okay, we can bleach you later.
I fundamentally don't understand. And Casper's like, here, I brought back the food. And they're like, oh, can you get us some napkins? And he like turns around for a second and they eat all the food. He's like, you always do this to me. I'm like, you can't actually eat.
And I felt like it was just stealing a scene from the first one. Like, do you remember that one time?
When they ate the food and it was funny?
And Casper was like, but guys, we're already dead. Why do I need food? That wasn't mentioned because they're not logical ghosts.
No. And like almost in tandem and like back to back like screenshot things, Wendy and Casper like, it's not fair. I'm like, I wonder if these two are gonna meet up. Oh wait, the name of the fucking movie is Casper Meets Wendy. They made us wait till the 30-minute mark for these fuckers to lay eyes on each other.
35.
So the ants are out tanning by the pool, and Wendy follows Josh, the douchey boy, into the arcade. And she's like, hi. And he's like, do you have a quarter? She's like, no. And he just shoves another little girl off her machine and starts playing it.
Little quarter prostitute.
Spank. This is probably horribly insensitive, but it's a running joke we've had since 7th grade. So Alex and I went to school in downtown Santa Ana, and there's a very large homeless population down there. And like basically there was like a line that was like, this is the school, and like 3 feet to the left on the sidewalk was not the school. So if the homeless people came on campus, the security would like freak out and kick them off. So they would learn to sit right on the edge, because we were a bunch of rich OC kids with like more food and money than we knew what to do with. Not us, but other kids at our school.
Yeah, I was gonna say, not us. We were the broke kids.
We were the broke
scraps.
Kids. So they would like try to guilt the rich kids into giving them food. And there was this one guy, and he didn't even have the energy to say spare change. He just looked at you and go, spank.
Spank.
Spange.
So they've always been referred to as Spangers.
Spangers.
Those spare changers.
It's Spanger danger.
Use that in your everyday life. It'll help you out.
Take Spange.
Spange. And yes, we already said it's insensitive.
It's so insensitive. But
we apologize.
13-year-olds who were freaked out by a grown man who would yell at us for money. Spange.
Fair.
So Spange has just been our shorthand.
And we can't say it without dying. There's a couple phrases, and that is one of them.
Spange your toes. We have many, many Spange stories. So Wendy's like, "You're a jerk," and he's like, "Eh." I don't know. Like, there's no dialogue in this movie. People just make faces at each other.
So Wendy's like, "Oh, I really want to talk to somebody," and he's like, "Get out of here!" And his friend's like, "Yeah, get out of here. We're trying to get a high score on."
I know, like you almost said, and then you're like, "Wait, they're 11."
This is a child's movie. They didn't say that shit.
So we're so awful together. Just say it. Say what you were gonna say, and I'll cut it.
Now I don't even remember. Send in your thoughts. What was she gonna say?
What horrible thing was Alex gonna say about a child?
About an 11-year-old child.
So Wendy like shorts out the arcade game, and she's like, "You're a big jerk, and I want friends." So she goes wandering into a barn, and she's like, "I just want someone to talk to." And then Casper, like sitting in the rafters,
simultaneously is like, "Me too."
Join the club, and she screams at a ghost. He screams for a witch. They hide across the barn from each other, and they're like peeking through their little hidey holes.
Ghost! Witch! Very Scooby-Doo.
And so she's in her cute little red overalls, and when she sees that he's a ghost, she changes into her red onesie, and he's like, "You're a witch." A, because she has her wand out. Don't know why she needed to change into the onesie. Because she had to? I don't know.
Like, we spent a lot of time on that onesie. We would appreciate if it gets a little more screen time.
Yeah, I pretty much think that was the thought. And then they're like hiding, and he's like, "Oh my gosh!" And she's like, "What?" He's like, "I didn't know witches could be so cute." And I'm like, "It's Casper."
Oh yeah, Casper's got some
smooth
lines.
bastard.
Yeah, no, Casper was a little rapey in that scene, I thought.
Christina Ricci taught him some things.
I know. It's like, oh duh, it's supposed to be the same Casper.
There's a real weird like line in the original Casper, which I'm like, what the fuck? Where Christina Ricci gets asked out by the hot guy to like the Halloween party, and the dad's like, "I think it's time to give you the talk," and she's like, "It's a little late for that," and the dad just looks at her and she goes, "Not that late, just kind of late." I'm like,
wait,
whoa,
is that a blowjob joke in a child's movie?
I think it was just like, I've dealt with boys.
Dad, I don't spit. It's just,
it's like, I've dealt with boys, but I haven't fucked one yet because she's 12.
Damn. I like the line where he's all, "But I see you." That's literally how he says it to Wendy too.
Yeah. And she's like, "My aunt's always told me, don't trust anything you can't see." He's like, "But you can see me." I'm like,
I can see you. I was like, damn.
but, and he's like, she's like, "Do you have any witchy powers?" And he's like, "Yeah." And he just is a witch. He is a ghost rather. He like zooms around and flies, which he's already doing. And she's like, "Let me show you." "I can't do big magic. Is it okay if I do little magic?" And Casper's like, "Yes."
And then I totally remembered this from my childhood.
And then she makes a little Santa cutout dance. This is not a Christmas movie. It's not Christmas time. Why was there a Santa cutout?
Because you keep your Santas in the barn. That is just how I live my life. Yeah. And he does hip hop dancing for those cool kids.
Just
I remembered it from.
And Hilary Duff's laugh.
Oh god, yeah.
I can't do it justice. I'm gonna drop in a clip here.
I feel like legitimately she had to sit in a room and they're like, again.
Because
Again. Sometimes it's like a legitimate laugh, like, okay, she tried, and there's like, ha ha. But like a high pitched voice, not in my low ass.
Your eyes like cross. You look like fucking Shaquille O'Neal in that fucking Mad Baby sketch. This is you. I mean, I think she's just a kid who is genuinely laughing sometimes and then can't fake it in others.
So bad. Like, I never heard someone just so bad in a movie.
So then they have their, like, adorable friendship montage, and it's this song about, like, on a holiday, we're on holiday. Like, they couldn't afford the rights to Holiday, so they bought, like, the public domain version. So they go roller skating, they play croquet, they're listening to music. Wendy tickles his uncles with magic. I don't know. They're doing archery, and she makes her magic get a bullseye.
Yeah, she does.
Casper cannonballs and splashes her ants. She flies on her broom, and she's like surfing because it's the 90s.
And in my head, I'm like, how
literally
do that?
Wrote here, okay, Wendy's laugh was adorable. Now it's just annoying. This is the exact moment I was like, you need to stop.
Yeah, that whole montage, it was like, no, you're happy. You're happy, girl. No, you're still happy. I'm like, I don't think she's very happy.
And then Wendy's like, this is the best day of my life. And Casper's like, me too. Except the life part. Oh, that's right. He's a dead child. So they're like, even though we're supposed to hate each other, you're like the best friend I've ever had. I'm so sad I don't have to see you again. And she's like, well, there's no way our aunts and our uncles will get along unless we turn the ghosts into humans or we turn our witches into ghosts. And she's like, I think I have an idea. I'm like, is Wendy about to kill her aunts? Because that's where I thought it was going to go for a second. Because I didn't think turning ghosts into humans was an option.
I like how, we're going to turn the ghosts into people. And we're going to turn the witches into ghosts. I was like, wait, time out. How does that work?
Whoa.
And he's like, I know exactly how to do it. But they didn't do that at all.
No, this movie does not get as hella dark as you think it's going to. So then we come back to the ants. They're still out by the pool. Larry, we're focusing on again, is trying to get everyone to limbo. And they, like, make the limbo stick choke him out. They're like, Cabana Boy, we need drinks, we need food, we need towels, we need a pedicure, and like they're acting like he's this super hot Cabana Boy, and he's just not. Sorry.
Gross. Nope. I don't apologize for that at
he's
all.
He's just this little nerd. He's like not trying to be cute. Then we cut back to a 10-second shot of Jules and Vincent watching the tracker, and they're like, still nothing. Anyway, back to the movie. So Wendy finds her aunts by the pool. She's got like a trench coat on and like a hat and sunglasses. And she's like, hey aunts, I know you guys are looking for some hottie hot hunks and there's a dance tonight. And they're like, all right, we're going to go to the dance, but go back to hiding. Go away. And Josh bops up to her and he's like, hey dollface, you want to go to the dance? And she's like, no dogface, and you're not nice, and I don't want to go to the dance with you.
And then he is like, nah. You're going to the dance.
He, like, grips her, and she's like...
I was like, me too, son of a bitch.
And Wendy's like, I already met someone. He's bald, and he's white. And
he's bald, and he's white, and he's gonna murder you.
And then she grabs she magically makes a ketchup bottle, squirt him all over, and then shoves him. And he falls onto a grown woman. She is an adult. And a grown man goes... Get off my woman, you little twerp, and picks up a child and throws him. I'm like, okay, I mean, he's an asshole, but he is also a child, bro. Like,
He wasn't like, I want this old ass lady. Like, no, he fell.
He fell on her, and like his back is against her stomach. It's not like he like fell like hands on her titties, like. And she just throws him in the pool, and he's like, no one makes a fool of Josh Jensen, or whatever the fuck his name is.
The Blue Power Ranger.
And she's like, you need to get updated on the 90s dating rituals. In case we didn't know it was the 90s.
Mm-hmm. There seems to be a lot of rape. Or, like, in 90s movies, I noticed that, like, girls are always getting unwanted, like, men being like, no, you're mine. And I'm like, was it just a thing in the 90s that we never noticed? But you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, we didn't
notice
it.
Or, like, in Back to the Future, when the mom, and I know it's a little before the 90s, but when she gets, like, almost raped in the car, and it's never, like...
And it's like, oh, what made you fall in love with my dad? Well, I was about to be brutally raped, and he stopped it. So I married him.
And it's like things we never addressed. And I'm like, well, our culture is fucked up. Sorry, go off.
I mean, like, that's, okay, Working Girl is, like, the cutest movie. With, like, fucking, you know, Harrison
Work
Ford.
hard, or die trying.
Girl. But, like, literally, she gets, like, blackout drunk on tequila shots.
I've never seen it. Don't tell me. And I know, don't hate me for never seeing it.
Well, I won't ruin it for you. But basically, she gets, like, she's trying to make Harrison Ford think she's, like, a fancy business person. And he can, like, immediately tell she's not. So he's like, oh, everyone in business does tequila shots. And she knocks back, like, 8. And, like, he's like, throwing them over his shoulder, like, ha, ha, ha. She's getting super drunk.
Ooh, but how hot was he in that
And then
movie,
he's like, aw, I feel bad I got her blackout drunk. And, like, takes her home and undresses her.
No.
And, like, just, like, I wanted to make sure you were okay. And it's, like, supposed to be adorable. And I'm like,
Rape. Me too, motherfucker.
whoa.
Yeah, there's so many movies that I've rewatched and I'm like, oh, that is unsettling.
And to be fair, he doesn't do anything. But he's very much, like, obviously trying to get her blackout drunk and then, like, has a change of heart. It's weird.
Unsettling.
So then we cut back to Desmond, and this is the only thing that I thought was a little bit cute, because he's, like, on the phone, and he's calling out, like, famous TV witches. He's like, Samantha, anything on your end? From, like, Bewitched.
Yeah.
Or, like, Jeannie, anything from, like, he's calling, not witches, but, like, famous.
Jeannie was a genie. No,
I know.
I get it.
But he's, like, calling out and he, like, crosses out, like, the city they're from on the map. It's a little bit cute. And he's like, hey, Magic Mirror, you know literally fucking everything. Where's Wendy? And he's like, that I don't know, but I can tell you that Wendy has met a ghost named Casper.
How are you gonna tell me that and be like, I don't know what
I think
she
the Oracle
is,
just doesn't fucking like Desmond.
I just don't think he cares.
Pauly sure don't give a fuck.
Pauly sure don't give a fuck. He's just like a honey badger. That's just what that reminded me.
I almost spit taked the biggest mouthful of drink into my microphone. Remember Darren?
Pons?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So he had this, like, yellowy gold car that would just break down or, like, speed up when you weren't touching the gas or, like, just die, and he named his car the Honey Badger because Honey Badger don't give a fuck. That car did whatever the fuck it felt like.
Honey Badger don't care.
Did you name your cars?
What?
Do you name your cars?
I do.
My cars have been Go Lightly and Morgana. Those are my only two.
Mine's called Little Bitch, is what I refer to her. My mom's like, you need to be nicer. I'm like, but she knows she's a little bitch.
That's a term of endearment, but also an insult. So the maid is cleaning up the uncle's cabins, and she's, like, throwing sheets off the bed onto the floor, and then the sheets turn into the ghost, and they're like, next time, try the laundry, so no starch. My back was killing me. Like, what?
I don't even understand that. Is that like an old reference that we're just like...
Like, you start sheets to make them stiff.
I get... so they made them... okay, I get
like,
it.
oh, you turn ghosts into sheets because you starched them.
Okay, I thought it was a dick joke.
It probably was.
Honey, next time use less starch. You had me so stiff. Sorry, cut that out if you need to.
Casper, who's always been, like, the friendliest, most adorable, like, everything, is like, hey guys, I want to learn how to prank mortals. And they're like, fucking finally. And he's like, don't you hold the world record for, like, best possession? And they're like, yeah. And he's like, oh, because I just read the world record or the Ghouliest Book of World's Records, and someone beat your record. And they're like,
oh, say what?
Oh no. And he's like, but there's a dance tonight. And he's like, oh yes, we will possess humans at a dance.
And I didn't mention this, but the flyer, did you notice the flyer?
Bright red.
It literally just said dance tonight spelled incorrectly. And that was it just said, spelled incorrectly. And then I was like, oh, that's cute. They made up a dance. But then everybody else knew of the dance.
Yeah, I felt like Casper and Wendy, like, made up a dance.
Yeah.
But no, it's like a legit event put on by the resort.
And then the resort apparently they're just illiterate, or they didn't have spell check back then. And it was just dance tonight because you put out your shit the day that it's supposed to come out.
I don't know.
I'm sorry. I'm just looking
So
into
then we cut, and it's like a convertible rolls up, and it's 3 guys, and they look like they were dressed for a costume party. Like, one is literally in John Travolta's, like, black and white, like, Saturday Night Fever outfit. One is in, like, a gold lame shirt.
I was just gonna say, a ridiculous gold lame.
One is, I think, legit in John Travolta's outfit from Grease, like, the black with the pink. And there's a skinny one.
Saturday Night Fever.
No, because there's a Saturday Night Fever one, a Grease one.
Oh, yeah.
And a gold lame one. And so there's, like, a skinny guy, a tall guy, and a fat guy. And
I
it's
wonder
like,
which is which.
And the uncles show up, and the tall one possesses the tall one, and the fat one tries to go in the short one, and he's like, man, I always get stuck with the fat guy, because he won't fit, and he goes into the fat guy. And it's very weird, because the actors are talking before they're possessed, and they clearly have their own voices. But once the uncles are inside them, it's the voice actors who have been doing the voices.
But I swear to God, the actors they got look just like what you think the voices would sound like. Where to the point where I was like, oh, that's them, right? And she's like, nope. I was like,
Yeah.
I don't understand.
And so they're like, let's hit this dance. And they're just... So this dance, first of all, no one else inside is, like, in costumes.
Except the witches, because they're in, like, weird fucking...
Like, 50s pastel giant poofy dresses?
Yeah.
I don't know. But I don't... And these 3 guys do not belong to the resort. They're like, resort babes are always the most desperate. So, like, what? And, like, there are...
Wait, so, like, old chicks with hotel rooms? I don't understand.
There are kids at this party. There are adults at this party. There's a band. There's a caterer. Like, I can't tell what this dance is supposed to be. So the uncles show up, and the aunts are dancing all spastic, and Wendy and Casper are, like, hiding behind the shrimp cart. And she's like, you better go invisible. And he's like, okay, you should always be invisible, Casper.
You're a goddamn ghost. How are you not always
You
invisible?
should always be invisible. Always. Forever. And so the ghosts are, like, groping people. They're, like, eating all the food. One literally goes fucking Blair Witch, like, projectile vomits a gallon of green shit onto this lady, and she goes, disgusting. I'm like, a human being just vomited a gallon of shit of you.
Green sludge. And you're like, disgusting.
You're not like, what the fuck, a demon? Are you the Blair Witch Project? What the fuck?
I'm pretty sure you're dying.
And Fatso walks up to Ben Stein, and he's like, nah, this is great food. I hope they don't run out. And Ben
Are we
Stein's like,
100% sure that it's Ben Stein?
I am 1,000%
I told you that
sure.
I didn't have the connection, so I couldn't see anyone's faces. Yes,
It was
I
Ben
watched
Stein.
this whole movie faceless.
It was a bad connection, and also she has no glasses. It was a bad mix.
Just...
She didn't miss much.
No.
And so then, and you completely wouldn't, like, and I mean, maybe in the 90s he was more of a face, but it's this action star named Casper Van Dyne, or Dean.
Has he ever done anything? Was he actually an action
Yeah,
star?
he did Starship Troopers.
What the fuck is Starship?
That movie with, like, Denise Richards, where they're, like, space cadets and they kill giant alien bugs. Because, like, literally the ants are like, ooh, want to come back to our room? Ooh, and he's like, no, I gotta go kill some bugs. And it's a joke because his name is Casper.
Oh, I get it. I mean, I remember seeing him and being like, that is...
He's a very hot guy, but the bugs line is so confusing if you don't know. And I had to Google. I'm like, why did he say bugs? What the fuck?
It was like a weird inside joke.
Yeah. And I mean, again, maybe at that point in the 90s he was...
True, somebody.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty good with names, and that doesn't ring a bell.
No. And then Wendy and Casper are like, phase 2. I'm like, what the fuck was phase 1? Get them to come to the dance, I guess.
Yeah. Come up with an idea.
Come on. Think about shit. Phase complete.
No, do shit.
So Stinky is very worried because he smells too good. So he literally, like, climbs out of a dumpster. And the band's, like, playing this, like, upbeat, like, jazzy number. And Wendy, like, magics their sheet music. Because you know musicians, if the sheet music turns on the page, they instantly have to start playing a different song.
What was the weird fucking song that they changed it to? It was... God, I wish I had it right now. Because it was, like, a stock song. Like, you know?
Yeah.
Like a song they play in commercial. Like, a song we all know.
It's just, like, romance and...
But it was,
la,
like,
la, la.
legitimately, like, the weirdest song you could have possibly...
Yeah. And she, like, angles a spotlight at the ants, and they all, like, align in a row and, like, reach towards the crowd in general. And the three ghost uncles like turn around and like, oh, they're the ones. What?
And I legitimately had to look over to Chelsea and be like, wait, what just happened? Oh, they just saw the ants. I was like, oh, because they're the most beautiful
We're
women.
3 men and they're 3 women. And Ben Stein, like, comes up behind one of the ants and he's like, want an ant? And she's like, I'm talking to someone else. She's fully not. He's across the room.
I'm not talking to someone.
So they all pair off. The bossy one goes with the bossy one. The fat one goes with the fat one. The stinky one goes with the stinky one.
This one is just right.
And he's like, oh my God, you smell like rotten garlic and spoiled bath milk. Are you the one? And she's like, oh my God, you say the nicest things. Like,
I'm like, ah.
it's like all like gross stuff and they think it's cute because they're ghosts and witches.
Because they're ghosts and witches. But I feel like they gave witches a bad name because I don't think witches would be gross. I think they would just be like sexy ass, hot, like coven bitches.
That's the witches we would want to be.
That's true.
So
Want to be.
Casper and Wendy are like, mission accomplished. And they run outside and Josh sees Wendy and he's like, I'm gonna see who she ditched me for. And Casper's like, do you want to dance with me? And she's like, right here. And he's like, no, over there. And he like points to a gazebo that's like 5 feet away. And Wendy's like, sure, let me change. And she magicked herself into the most 90s outfit. She's got, it's like a bright red dress, like spaghetti straps, body glitter. She's got like the little like Baby Spice, little baby pigtail twisty
white
things.
Crop top underneath, red shoes, white. Sucky, so good.
And he like picks her up and flies her over. Again, it's like 5 feet away, guys. And she's dancing with him, but he's fully invisible. And he's like, sorry, I'm not a very good dancer. Fucking lies, Casper. Literally, your most iconic line in the first movie is, I told you I was a good dancer.
Wait,
Can I keep you?
Time. See, that's why, and I know there, but is it supposed to be the same
ones.
Casper?
It is. Because there's other movies that don't fall into the canon, and there's a one called, like, Casper, A Spirited Beginning, which people, like, they think it's a prequel to the Bill Pullman one, but it's not. These two are supposed to exist within the same universe and the same timeline.
And I'm sorry if my mic has been fucked up. I'm very fidgety, and
you're good.
You can probably hear it in my movement.
But literally, his most iconic line is, I told you I was a good dancer. Can I keep you?
Fucking lies!
And I literally underlined all caps, lies!
Lies!
And Josh sees her just, to his appearance, dancing by herself.
Like, he's not attractive at all.
No, she's like, he'd rather dance by herself than with me. I'm like, you think she's a weirdo, bro? Why are you so hung up on her?
It's because everybody wants what they can't have. Story of my life.
So the aunts and uncles are being all gross and flirty with each other. Mm-hmm. And then, like, the humans they're inhabiting start fighting back. And you see, like, the little, like, the ghost parts of them, like, start popping out of the humans.
Yep.
And they're like, it's allergies. It's the dance beat. I just don't feel good.
It's the dance beat.
And then they all, like, run outside, and the witches follow them, and then the ghosts full pop out of the bodies. The 3 humans are like, I was fully just possessed for several hours. The fuck? And run off. Mm-hmm. And the ants are like, ooh! And they turn themselves back into their witch outfits. Why? We don't know. Because they paid for those costumes. And they're like, ew, ghosts. And they're like, ew, witches. And
fleshies.
The ants start... And inside, when the uncles are changing back into ghosts, the ants get knocked over and are firing spells. Everything's falling over in the tent. The band is over. The food falls down. The whole party inside is wrecked. And
so this is love.
They're like, ew, you're a ghost. Ew, you're a witch. And Casper and Wendy's like,
no, I thought they say that we, like, I thought they're like, oh, isn't this love? Like, am I tripping?
They
or
do.
Was that right before?
Oh, she's like, these ones might be marriage material.
Yeah.
Like, fully. But once it's revealed, that's all out the window. And Wendy and Casper are like, we just wanted you to get along. They're like, you conspired with a fleshy? It's like, you conspired with this bag of wind? Yeah.
You conspired with a fleshlight?
Casper, the fleshlight.
Such a friendly ghost.
Someone needs to do a story about getting ghosted by a guy named Casper on Tinder.
Oh, I'm sure. Oh my god, like, as your Tinder...
Been done.
I'll do it. Tinder's just too hard.
And so the witches are like, we're gonna turn you into a beanbag, and the ghosts are like, "Ooh." And the witches are like, we can't do that. It's like, I know, I was bluffing because we can't do big magic. So Desmond, Jules, and Vincent are still looking.
I wonder where they are.
It literally is just them like, oh man, I really like pancakes. They're talking about breakfast food for some reason. Several of the times.
But they bring it full circle.
They do.
Like, they do. Oh,
so,
motherfucker, I'm sorry.
I'm gonna kill you.
I'm just like, you know me, I can't sit still. So,
I know.
like, sitting still is my...
So, Casper is grounded. Wendy is grounded. Wendy pops right out the window with her fucking laptop. And she goes into the wrecked party. And Larry, the social coordinator, is like, ooh, little lady, the party's over. She's like, I know.
At that point, I was pretty sure Larry was going to be the murderer.
He
was just going to come in, start hacking people. I'm like, they've made Larry so important up until this point.
And Casper shows up, again, visible, and Larry's like, what? And Wendy, like, throws a fur coat over him. He's like, he's my dog. Ruff, ruff. My dog. What the fuck? And she's like, I googled Desmond. Here's his witch page. They had just heard of the internet in the 90s. It was a dark time. And she's like, this is the mystic abyss. It's the only way to destroy me, besides dropping a house on me.
Aha!
Because Wizard of Oz.
What did she say that?
Because Wizard of Oz.
Because Wizard of Oz. I wish she would have just said that.
And she's like, just keep your uncles away from my aunts because we can't fight, because we can't use magic. But don't tell anyone. Don't talk about the magic. Don't tell my uncle.
And like, why would you tell him in the first place? You don't know this guy. Like,
and like, it's not important. You can just be like, he's too powerful. We can't use our magic.
Yep.
So the uncles are like, well, we'd attack, but those witches would get us. And Casper's like, no, we have to go talk to them. He's like, are you crazy? They'd blow us away. And literally 10 seconds later, he's like, but they don't have any powers. Oops.
Did I do that?
Like, Casper,
Yes,
I realize
bitch.
you died when you were a child, but like, you've been alive for a century. Like, grow the fuck up.
Ooh, now we know how Casper died. He had a
Sick
big ass
burn.
mouth and someone just stabbed that fool.
Actually, he went out sledding in the snow, and his father told him to come in before it got too cold. He didn't listen, got pneumonia, and died.
Is that really Casper's backstory?
In the first one, in the comics, he was a ghost baby born to ghost parents. Like, he was born a ghost.
Well, I mean, in the comics, that was what you said, the 50s?
Yeah.
So, I mean, talking
Dead
about
kid.
a dead child
Yeah.
wasn't something that was done. We just didn't talk about our emotions back then.
But in the Christina Ricci movie, that is how he dies.
Oh, little ghost boy. Okay, so we got ghosts.
So
we got witches. Now they're on the run.
No, wait.
I'm
Wait.
sorry.
So the ants are packing up and pacing and talking. I don't know. And the ghosts pop up and they're like, you gotta get out of here. And they're like, we'll turn you into bags of flour. And he's like, we know you don't have any magic. And Wendy's like, Casper told, I can't believe it. I'm like, girl. Okay, and there's a point, and I don't know if it was just I had been watching the movie for so long. The witches' slapstick comedy is actually pretty impressive when you remember they're just doing this in an empty room because the ghosts are not there.
That's true.
They are flinging themselves around
honestly,
this room.
you know, even though this movie was just terrible, there were so many lines of the witches that I remembered fully. Like, I absolutely knew almost every single one of the witches' lines, which, yes, maybe it might not have been a good movie, but I get why I liked it because it just was silly and I wanted to laugh.
And it was adorable.
I, too, just wanted friends, and not back then I didn't care.
You
But
okay?
yes. You know.
You okay, baby?
You okay? But, you know, so even though it's shitty, the witches kind of are the glue that holds this really bad movie together.
They are. And, like, I would have fully been down for just, like, a Wendy movie.
Well, that's why I said just Casper and fucking Wendy.
I don't need no fucking Casper.
Ghosts and witches. But
I know.
Wendy wasn't anybody, so, you know. Just
She was. She had her own comic series. That's
some
where she
white
came
bitch,
from.
Like,
So they're running around from the ghost. They can't fight them. And then Wendy just decides. She pulls out her wand and she turns them into plaster, like solid objects. And they're like, aw, man. And
You lied to us.
because she uses big magic, Desmond finds her.
Daddy's coming.
Oh, no. And he's like, I will not be defeated by a teen witch.
She's not even a teen.
She's not. Just the movie Teen Witch had come out.
What's Teen Witch?
You know Teen Witch.
That's not Sabrina the movie,
No,
right?
no.
Remember how Sabrina was a movie before it was a TV show with Melissa Joan Hart?
Also a comic first.
Well, I know,
with
but
Archie.
most people don't realize that it was like the weird TV movie, which
Where it's
turned
not
into...
any of the same actors except for Sabrina and the best friend. It's weird.
Yes.
But no.
Oh, it's Sabrina and Libby, right?
Yeah.
That's it.
But no, Teen Witch, the atop that, where she like magics her best friend to like rap at the guy she likes.
Teen Witch. Why can't I remember who? I'm gonna Google it right now. This is why we have
Zelda Rubinstein is in it. The girl finds a magic amulet. Her theater teacher helps her out.
I mean, that's just what happens to theater kids, I thought.
Yeah.
Well, let's keep going as Alex Googles Teen Witch.
If you haven't watched Teen Witch, that shit's on Netflix and we're watching it tonight. It's adorable. So, Josh and his friend are fucking around, messing up people's cabins, and they hear the fight, and they reach in and they're like, she's always playing with this weird stick, and they grab Wendy's wand, which, by the way, is like a fat black stick with a giant jewel at the end. It looks like out of like a magician's
My dildo.
kit. It's like a giant, like, it's huge. And so the ants are celebrating. They're like, Wendy, you defeated the ghosts. Yay, yay. And she's like, guys. And they're like, stop being a nag. You got to celebrate. She's like, I use big magic. They're like, fuck you. We got to run. Duh.
So I've never seen this movie, back to Teen Witch, and the girl looks the same.
Yeah. Shit, that magic was real.
God damn.
Yeah, we're going to watch Teen Witch.
I'm sorry we're off topic, but everybody go watch Teen Witch.
I think it's on Netflix still. So Casper pops into the room and he's like, Wendy, I'm so sorry. She's like, you broke a promise and I never forgive you ever again. And Casper's flying away and he sees Josh just like doing magic with Wendy's wand. And he's like, Wendy never let me play with her wand. They must be better friends.
Because that's how it works.
What?
Yeah.
So
I
dumb.
was so confused about that.
And then, in a line I was surprised to hear in kids' movies, the uncles are chiseling themselves out of the plaster, and the uncle's like, I like to get plastered, but not this much. Wow.
I like that line.
It was a
I
good
did.
one.
I was like, oh, that was for the parents.
Then they're yelling at Casper about being friends with a witch, and he's like, I know you guys act mean and nasty, but you did something tonight I'll never let you forget. You cared about those witches. And they're like, nope, we were pretending. Get fucked. Desmond pulls up. Desmond pulled up in his big scary automobile, and they're searching the cabins. Wendy can't find her wand, and they're like wanting to leave, but they can't leave without her wand. And they see Desmond walking around the cabins. They're like, "Wait, I know how to disguise us!" And so they put Wendy in a maid cart, and the three ants dress up as maids, and they're like, "Housekeeping."
They legitimately, one of them goes, housekeeping, and they're in green maid uniforms because. You know.
Yeah, not the colors of the resort, and they're like wheeling away, and all of a sudden
But I did love the housekeeping
lady who got turned into a goat in the first scene.
Yep, it's still a
comes
goat.
up to get Desmond. It's like, they went that way.
Still a goat, and no
And
one's like
still bitter.
weird.
So then the ants are in the lobby, still in their maid uniforms. They're completely hidden. They're like, let's get out of these outfits. Change full back into witch outfits. I'm like, why? Why would you make yourselves more noticeable? You're so stupid. And also, why are they going through the lobby? Why are you going from the cabins to the inside lobby to leave? It makes no sense. So they open the front door to leave, and there's Desmond! And Jules and Vern come in from the side doors, and the Oracle pops up, and it's like, yep, that's Wendy. She's the greater witch. Like, you gotta defeat her. And so he starts to open up the portal, and Wendy's like, take me, but let my aunts go. And he's like, relatives tend to seek revenge, and I don't want to deal with that. I'm like, fair. They do. So then Casper shows up, and Desmond's like, a ghost? Friends with a witch? I'm like, the Oracle's told you this like 3 times.
Already told you this was gonna happen.
And Wendy's like, Casper, help me, I lost my wand. Don't admit that. Don't admit that you are powerless.
Yeah.
Stupid.
Which is weird because they weren't. It's like they want to say they're powerless at some points, but then she can do magic with her hands. So
but she can't do big magic.
Okay.
Without her wand. We think. I don't know. It's not established because the ants don't have wands.
Exactly.
So Desmond, like, chucks Casper out of the room, and Wendy's like, Casper! He can't die again, girl. You're good. And it's funny, because Casper, like, flies through a wall, through a window, but hits a tree, like, ka-thunk. I'm like, he's a ghost. Is he solid or not?
They just need that slapstick humor in there to keep the children.
Yeah, and he's like, oh, the wand. Josh isn't her friend. And Josh and his little shit friends are hitting her wand with a hammer.
Being like, now you're gonna not have your... And they don't even realize it's wands. They're just like, now you're not gonna have your stick.
But they're full doing magic before. They're, like, making shit appear.
Yeah, but they still...
They're like, let's break an actual magic wand.
Yeah, just not the smartest.
Casper scares them. They drop the wand, which turns them into horses. Which is never resolved, guys. Those kids are just horses now.
So you see the missing children posters at the
Their
end.
mothers cry every night going, where's my son? Can you imagine? Like Hocus Pocus.
Clip clop. Clip clop.
But instead of Thackeray as a cat, he's a horse.
Clip clop. Clip clop. We saw.
Desmond summons the magic abyss, which is this orange and black swirling CGI vortex.
Green screen of death.
And everything in the room is getting pulled in. Like the furniture and the paintings. And it doesn't look like it's so much a magic like dimension that traps you, but it just like smashes you along the walls until you break. And they've said like over and over, like once you go in the magic abyss, you never come out.
But Wendy was in there.
We get there. We're getting there.
Sorry.
We're getting there. So Jules and Vincent like each have Wendy by one arm. Don't know where the ants are at this point. And Casper's like, Wendy, you're one! And throws it to her.
Sugar salsa.
But Jules gets it. Then Wendy's wand come in. Wendy's broom comes in. One second. I'm going to say that all again. I need to stop drinking until we're done. Mm-hmm. So Jules and Vincent... Jules and Vincent each have Wendy by one arm. I don't know where the ants are at this point. And Casper's like, Wendy, your wand! But Jules grabs it out of her hand. And then Wendy's broom shows up and starts like beating the shit out of them. They drop the wand. Wendy picks up her wand and she's like, ha-ha! And Desmond's like, I'm unaffected. You're a weak-ass little bitch. Sure, I'm glad Casper got her wand back to her. So Desmond goes to push her into the magic abyss. And she falls all the way in. She fully disappears from sight, is gone.
So now I was like, oh, we're done, right?
Movie's over, bye! That's been the Stupid Sequels podcast. No, I'm kidding. So dark.
That's what I was hoping.
And Casper goes diving in with, like, the little red velvet ropes that they used to, like, section you off. You know how those are, like, very strong and powerful and can, like, haul a human body in.
Oh, yeah. And they're super long.
And the three ants go running up. And somehow the two, like, Jules and Vern, hold back three witches.
Yeah.
And they're just yelling, like, Wendy, we're coming! Little Red, hold on! They're not doing anything. They keep saying, we're coming, and they're not doing anything. So Desmond starts trying to close the portal behind Casper and Wendy. He's going deeper in. She's falling. He's chasing her. They start to cast on Desmond, but he's like, your powers have no power here. He turns them into a man, a hag, and a supermodel.
Sexy ass model.
And she's like, oh no, I'm repulsive. Because they're witches and they think ugly is pretty and pretty is gets so annoying. Yeah, it's just so dumb. So then this like giant green like dragon monster shows up and scares Desmond.
The worst CGI ever in a movie.
And Desmond falls into the abyss. And then the monster separates out and it's the three ghosts. Because duh. And he's like, no one messes with Casper but us. And the ghosts are holding the portal open. The ants are trying to pull the rope back through. And they keep focusing on like one connection of the ropes. Like, oh man, this link's gonna break. They're gonna fall. And they keep zooming in on it over and over again. It doesn't get any looser. It doesn't look like it's about to break. It just looks completely linked. It never does break. And they're screaming the whole time. They're like, don't let go. Hold on. You have to save us. Casper and Wendy. They're both just screaming. They pull them out. They collapse on the floor. And they both just like pass out cold. And they're trying to act like you think they might be dead. They're like, Little Red? Little Red, are you okay? Come on, Casper, buddy, wake up. It's like, they're both fucking fine. They were just screaming this whole time. And they're like, Wendy, are you okay? And she's like, if you hug me, I might be. And they're like, oh, we're all fine. That's it. That's the big resolution of that big fight.
My favorite part was the end.
And Jules and Vern are just like, let's go get French toast.
Oh no, Jules and Vern, they're like, where were you? We were at a diner. I said it came all the way to this point. They talked about breakfast food.
They did.
You thought they weren't going to bring it back. They brought it back.
They did.
They brought it back.
So the witches are like, we're there. We
and then
thank you to the ghosts.
The very end, they're like, oh, and we're friends now, and witches.
The Oracle's like, Wendy's the most powerful witch. Yep. She's gonna be queen.
Witches and ghosts, hurrah. And you're like, oh, good, Wendy and Casper, they made friends. They're gonna be friends. Nope, that's not what happens. They go back to their
homes, and they're like,
homes,
well,
and
I'll
like,
never see you again.
Like, deuces, ghost boy, and she's all, bye. Now, life is gonna be different for us. How is life gonna be different for you? Nothing happened. Nobody knows about the events that have happened.
Like, basically, Casper's, like, carrying all their bags, and he's like, well, guess it's all gonna be like before. And she, like, zaps the bags away. She's like, they'll be different. And then the uncles are carrying the bags.
It'll be different than before. It was a really poor resolution, you bastards.
Yeah. It doesn't explain why Wendy is the most powerful witch.
Or, no, and how her powers are better than, the three old-ass witches she lives with.
And when she tries to cast magic on Desmond, he's like, the fuck, that didn't even do anything. You're supposed to be more powerful than me? Like...
I mean, I wonder if it's her courtship with...
Like, if it'd be one thing if they're like, she's going to become more powerful than
him.
But
I think maybe it was her ability to become friends and work with ghosts. Maybe that was
like,
it.
Their partnership will make them more powerful.
You think the underlining thing was just like, be nice to everybody. Mm-hmm. So, if Casper taught us anything, motherfuckers... I'm sorry, that was aggressive.
Just to everybody.
Be nice to everybody.
And if you're listening to this episode before November, fucking go vote.
Go vote.
Go vote.
I apologize for the silliness of this episode.
But go vote for fucking real.
By many years of ridiculous friendship.
Go fucking vote. Please,
vote.
please.
I don't care who you vote for. Just do it.
You
could vote for Kermit the Frog. Just add that motherfucker in.
Just vote.
I hope you don't, because that's like the third party. Thanks, guys.
Yeah. So that is Casper Meets Wendy. It's terrible.
It's terrible. It was fun to watch. If you want to watch it, watch it. If you were born in the 90s, I'm sure you've lived Casper Meets Wendy, but go back. It absolutely doesn't hold up. Which
not at all.
I think is the most heartbreaking thing about going back. It's like so many movies do, and you're like, oh yeah, Sandlot, Goonies, all these movies. You're like, oh, epic. Oh. Even we were just talking about how Mean Girls is like one of the greatest like screenplays of like a teenager movie that's like accurate and not over the top, but very. And I just feel like there's certain movies you have to go back because they hold up, and it's heartbreaking when they don't. But
the last one I watched that didn't hold up, that broke my heart, was Flubber.
Oh, dude,
does not hold
recently
up.
I did that too after the late Robin Williams, rest in peace. But I was like, ooh, this is gonna be great. And it doesn't. Then you go back and watch Mrs. Doubtfire, and you're dying.
Watch Jumanji.
Holds up. Yeah. I just, yeah.
It's really weird what does and doesn't hold up. And maybe it's memory. Maybe it's the movies we watch later in life shape our opinions more. But yeah.
That's the thing about this hot piece of flying garbage that my sister and I both loved and watched often. And it wasn't even just a Halloween movie in our house. This was just a movie. And I'm like, I wonder... I think kids really love silliness, and like I think just the silliness of the ghosts, not necessarily Casper, but everybody else.
Kid being the most powerful.
Exactly. Yeah. They know who their audience is, and I think that's
and like the kids got the grown-ups to listen
really
to them.
Smart and that's of course it doesn't hold up, but I mean go back and watch Casper, and that shit is fucking boring, and you're gonna be like, oh my god, but that shit is fucking boring. Like, yeah,
like, pretty
it's
much the last scene where Christina Ricci dances with Hot Devin Sawa, you're like, or Sawa, I don't know if I can say his name. You're like, yes, and you don't really need to watch the rest.
There's just so many scenes in it with adults that I'm like, can we just cut all this out? Like,
I don't care.
So
real quick before we get to our favorite quotes and our wrap up, I want to give a giant thank out to all the people on social media who comment on all my stuff, who request so many movies, who keep asking me when I'm going to do their favorites.
Was this one requested?
It was not. You came up with this one.
I did. Well, because
we
our
wanted to do a Halloween
dumbasses
movie.
was like, Casper Meets Wendy, the sequel. And then we were like, wait, fuck. Casper Meets Wendy is a sequel, so
it is.
It worked perfectly because we both grew up on this great film.
We were gonna do Jeepers Creepers 2, but I'm a little baby.
She's a little baby. I like the horror or gory stuff. So if there's anyone out there that wants to see that, let us know, and I'll scare the fuck out of her. But
I'll do some. I just wasn't in the mood this month.
Jeepers Creepers 2 isn't even scary, but she was afraid because she'd have to watch the first one, and you know, it's good.
It's scary.
Where'd you get those peepers? Like, it's such a good concept.
But I wanted to just shout out a couple people really quickly. Growly26, Flockamama, Michelle the Broadway Belle, Raider Mike. Yes, we will eventually get to Bambi 2 and Pocahontas 2 and The Return of Jafar.
Wait, time out. You haven't done Pocahontas 2 or The Return of Jafar?
Nope, or Little Mermaid 2.
Wait, you haven't done Little Mermaid 2?
We've done the prequel to Little Mermaid.
But not the one with her daughter?
And we've done Aladdin 3.
Alright, so I'm letting you know here the scoop. Chelsea and I hang out every fucking Tuesday. We do a sleepover. So we will bust out some of these that y'all are requesting because what else are we
Hey,
gonna
Alex.
do? Yes.
Remember how you watched this movie in advance?
Absolutely. Hey, but didn't it work out though in the end? Because I feel like having it like this, it's fresher too, where I didn't even look at my notes for the most part, where it's better than me being like, oh, let me get to my notes. So it's like a fresh.
But also for me, this is 4 hours of prep work ahead of time, so I can't bang them out quite that quick.
Yeah, I know.
But yes, I just wanted to shout out to all you guys. I do see your comments, I do see your requests, but I am only one person and we can only record one a month because I can only edit and research and do all these at a time. We're working on some bonus episodes for reviewing things that don't quite fit the bill.
What's our main one gonna be for that?
We were talking about reviewing Love Never Dies, which the two of us and also our sound engineer and the person from our Mulan episode, Francis, have all seen, not together. We were talking about doing some of the TV adaptations like The Little Mermaid show and Timon and Pumbaa, a lot of those kinds. But we're working on bonus episodes to kind of play with that. There is a Patreon if you guys really want to support me. I mean, like, the lowest one is $1 a month. The higher ones, you can request a movie that I will guarantee do, or even be a guest on the show. If you really, really want to be a part of the show that much, check out our Patreon. The link will be in the description. But I really do want to do a show that you guys will like and do movies that you guys care about. And do you guys want me to do nothing but Disney movies? Are you sick of Disney movies? Do you want me to do horror movies? Tell me and I'll do it. I want to make you all happy.
It's true.
All right, so to wrap it up, what is some of our favorite quotes from the original? I just love when Dan Aykroyd's like,
"Who you gonna call?" Someone else.
That was good. You know I like any of the creeper lines, so of course the one I've already mentioned.
When I get my hands on that little shrimp, this is all his fault. I normally like to get plastic.
Because every girl was like, yes, please, can you keep me? Anything that made your child's heart go, what is that? I mean, that to me is just...
a pitter, a patter. Mm-hmm. So good. And then... that's your only one from the original?
Well, I mean, I like when he was like, I told you I was a good dancer. And then the second one, we're like, liar!
Yeah.
You know.
Lies. I think from the sequel,
When I get my hands on that little shrimp, this is all his fault. I normally like to get plastic.
Wow. And I just, like, the entire the entire, like, just a montage of Wendy's laugh. It's so
bad.
It's so high.
I'm sure there's a video of it somewhere. If you want to go torture yourself or you're a sadist quite like myself, go do that to yourself. But I will not do that to you.
Yeah. And I'll try and find a clip to put here. And if I can't, I'll cut this part out.
Little Miss Goody Two-Spells, or you're just gonna type all day?
I know. You cast the spells, and I'll run it through my spell checker. Get it? Spell checker?
Hardy har har.
Casper?
Yeah?
I know this is gonna sound really lame and all, but whoa! This has been the best day of my life.
Me too. Well, except for the life part.
But yeah, any final thoughts on Casper Meets Wendy?
It was bad.
It was so bad.
How Hilary Duff got a TV show off of this, I don't know.
How Hilary Duff had a career after this.
And her, no, I was gonna say, and her teeth, but she was a child.
She was a child.
Please don't yell at me, but I'm sorry.
Ugh. And it's just so weird to have Catherine Moriarty be in both, but playing different characters. It's so weird.
You think she was like fucking one of the people? No, because nobody was even involved in both the movies.
I think they were just like, she was one of the best parts of the first one, and she's one of the people we can get back.
No, she wasn't. Like,
no, and she's one of the people we can get back.
The old people scenes from the first one are like the stuff I'm like, we need to cut this out. Like,
yeah. But yeah, you stuffed both movies with such comedic actors, and the first one worked pretty well.
Yeah.
And then the second one just didn't.
I mean, but it did when we watched it as kids. So I mean, is that the important thing, that it mattered? It worked back then. Mm-hmm. Less important than it doesn't cross over now, because how could it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But I mean, like, there are movies from my childhood that, like, I think my kids will still enjoy when they're
yeah, like Hocus Pocus, which rewatching Hocus Pocus, such a stressful movie. Anybody else just get anxiety attacks watching it?
Oh my god, so many.
I know it's gonna end properly and well, but I just get so stressed out the whole fucking time.
Yeah, and like Hocus Pocus holds the fuck up. I will not like sit my kids down and be like, Casper Meets Wendy, kids. Like, no, I'll spare you that. But Alex, where can people find you online?
You can find me on the Instagrams. It is Alex N Wonderland. Like,
she is the thrift queen.
My name is Alexandra Nehls. So
yeah. Find her.
Yes, everything I own is thrifted for the most part.
She's got the most 90s boots you've ever seen, and they're the only shoes she wears in my house.
Yeah.
It's really weird.
I live every day of my life like I am a 90s baby, but that's just my...
Yes.
aesthetic for life.
But check out the photos of us at Arctic Monkeys and us in Vegas and soon us at My Favorite Murder.
And if anybody makes any requests, we will totally be down to just do our silliness together and review just whatever you guys want. Your favorite book, your favorite porno,
because the two of us do nothing but watch movies and TV together.
A lot of Friends. So if it's like, oh, you want us to watch all of Friends, we got you.
We already did it twice, but we'll do it a third time.
How are you doing?
How we candle?
No, not candle.
We're very silly and we're sorry.
I'm sorry.
No, we're not.
We're not.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for checking in for our Halloween/November episode. I will see you all guys next month with... And, oh my god, is she going to say what the movie's going to be in the episode? Yes, I am, guys. Because if you guys if you guys are here from the first podcast, Joe Rosenblum is going to be on, and we are covering, for December, are you ready? The Star Wars Christmas special. Yes, guys!
I didn't even know there was a Star Wars Christmas
You shouldn't, because it's bad.
Is it from the olden days, or is it from, like, the trash that we got that was in theaters when we were kids?
It's from the 70s, and it was so bad it aired on television once and then never again.
Whoa. Play the same song. Do-do-do-do-do.
It's so terrible.
Oh, no.
So check in December for that mother.
Where do we find that? YouTube?
We have our sources.
Okay.
YouTube. But thank you so much for checking in, and I will see you guys all next time. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks so much for listening to the Stupid Sequels podcast. Please subscribe and review so everyone can find us on iTunes. You can find us on Twitter at StupidSequels2 or email us at stupidsequelspodcast@gmail.com. Every episode is made possible by our sound engineer, Francisca Codd. Our logo was designed by Nicole Wiseman at Wise Shots, and you can find me online at Callie Blair on Twitter and pretty much everywhere else. And remember, even though these movies are stupid, deep down, we really love them.